This episode of Talking Timbers is brought to you by Appalachian Log Structures, Colorado Timber Frame, Log Home Insurance, International Homes of Cedar, Honest Abe Log Homes, Rustic Log and Timber, Stone Mill Log and Timber Homes, Timbercraft, and Timberhaven Log and Timber Homes.
Barbara's joining us from Mississippi, Mississippi, I believe.
Very good.
Yep, good. And Barbara's been in the log and timber home industry, specifically in the coatings or care and maintenance side of things for 40 years. Her company is called Outlast Products. She's been around the industry, like I said, a long time. We've known each other for a really long time. She has a lot of knowledge in the world of treating your log or timber frame home. Treating wood, I guess, is a better way to look at that. And our Let's Talk topic today, it's one that a lot of people ask. And a lot of times they ask about it early, but then they wait to the end before maybe they invest in a good quality care and maintenance plan, I guess you could say. So I want to talk about that a little bit, but there are a key to maintenance for your log home. And there's a couple of questions, Barbara, and I want to say welcome again. And we're going to go through those questions and hopefully help people with their care and maintenance of their log home.
Sounds good.
So what should a new log homeowner, or really an existing log homeowner, know about maintenance?
Well, some maintenance is definitely required. We do maintenance on all kinds of exterior structures, and log homes are no different. But it doesn't have to be terribly complicated, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You need to stay on schedule and research carefully the product that you're going to use and know how to use it so that the company that's manufacturing it will warrant it for your purpose. That's a key.
And really, what happens sometimes when you build your house, you kind of understand the sun orientation or where north is and all of those types of things. But as the home gets older, you start to really see the differences maybe. So that's a part of understanding what you need to do each year and maintaining that home. Isn't that right? You want to, like you said, you want to stay on it. So understanding what needs some work where others may not be, like a covered porch may not need as much as one side. So that kind of helps ease the mind of a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, but obviously the planning is so important. The overhangs, the orientation, all of these things contribute to whether you have more or less maintenance. And the other key thing that is what your expectations are in terms of the appearance of the house. That's obviously a real key. People who build log homes want to see wood, and they're not necessarily looking for something that looks painted and coated. So you want to keep the appearance of the house pleasing to you. So when you drive up, you're happy to be home.
I like that. I never looked at it that way, but you're right. The whole point of this is the wood, and that's a different than looking at maybe a coating like paint, for sure. The word rot, I don't like that word rot, but it is part of wood and the degeneration of wood. But like we just talked about, when you're designing your home, the overhangs, porches, orientation, all of those things play to any house really, and making sure that you control that kind of thing. Should that be a concern for log homeowners?
Interestingly enough, a number of years ago, we were interested in knowing whether it was a concern also. So I hired a consultant to canvass log home owners and log home producers to find out if indeed they were concerned about that kind of thing. And we wanted to know what the major issues were that might be on the consideration list for somebody in terms of maintenance. Would they or would they not buy a log home, and what their concerns could be? And we kind of thought that they were looking for aesthetics as their number one concern. But when they got ready to answer the question, they indicated that they wanted to know about rot and termites, because everybody knows that termites like wood. So it was kind of an eye opener. Were focused on having plenty of lovely colors for them to pick from, and all these other ease of application issues, but to understand that they were indeed concerned about the rot and the decay was it changed our focus somewhat, and we happen to have a very good rot control product. We manufacture an EPA registered product, which is broad spectrum for rot and decay. So it's automatically built into the product, and it's something that we focus on because we know that people are concerned about that, and if they choose our product, they really don't have to worry about it because we've got that covered.
And you're right. There are a lot of products out there that hopefully hinder that, and really putting the new log and timber frame homeowner at ease, understanding that something's already in place moving forward with your project is awesome. And when you get, like you just mentioned, the termites, but sometimes there's other insect activity. I've got insects in my house too, and I don't live in a log home. So when you see that, what do you think about those types of questions?
Well, gosh, when I first started in the industry, every spring the phone would ring off the hook. People were very agitated about carpenter bees. It's always been a concern. It starts around April or May, depending upon the part of the country. And these little guys are very aggressive. They build homes laterally in the wood, and they particularly like unpainted wood. So log homes where they can see and feel the texture of the lumber, they go right for that. They're not in terms of structural concern particularly, but they can be an irritation when you're sitting out on your deck and they're flying all around. So people want rid of them. How do you get rid of them? They are tough to get rid of. And there are a lot of different approaches, but the one that we came up with and patented, as a matter of fact, is an all botanical insect repellent that can go into any kind of coating, paint, or stain, including our Outlast Q8 log oil. And this repels them. It makes the wood surface unattractive for them to even start a nest. And that's what you want. You don't want, you want to keep them away, and you don't want them to even get started. So that approach has worked very well, and people are conscious of not spraying poison all over the house or all over their eaves. And this is a time release product that it works. It's another way to go about getting rid of carpenter bees.
Well, and the good news is there are remedies for this out there, so that's awesome. Now we're getting right into this a little bit. We're at the 8-minute part. So in terms of your company, besides log and timber frame homes, you've worked on 100-year-old wood structures. Tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us a little bit about your company, Outlast Product. Go ahead, Barbara.
Well, long term, they're obviously the first structures that were built across the nation were log structures. A lot of the early ones, and many of them were upgraded over the years, over the centuries, to other types of construction. But the many log homes might be 200, 300, 400 years old, especially if they were near and dear to someone's heart and they wanted to keep them.
Sure.
And back when they were first constructed, people would treat them with creosote and other chemicals to prevent them from rotting away. It worked great. But years of periodic creosote treatments that they had to maintain their houses too back 100 years ago, and that was what they maintained it with. But the regulatory environment in the United States led to the government deciding that certain products weren't safe for homeowners to be using, and they cut back on a lot of the chemicals that were just great for long-term maintenance. One of them that you hear about a lot is lead that used to be in paint. Lead in the paint did a lot of things to preserve the wood beneath it, as well as provide a good coating. So that was eliminated, and we had all kinds of other ingredients that were taken off the market. And historic preservation became a challenge because places like Mount Vernon, where George Washington built his home, there have all kinds of committees there designed to preserve the integrity of what he did, and the products that he used are not
long gone.
Right. So we are actually in the wood preservation industry. So we have registrations on alternate chemicals that can step in and help that preservation. People often think, for instance, of cypress being an extremely durable and long-lived wood. It is. The old growth cypress, for instance, that was on the roofs at Mount Vernon, lasted a very long time, but mostly because it was top coated with all these lovely things like lead-based coating. Right.
Well, listen, Barbara, those are great. And I encourage people to hear more about the Mount Vernon projects and all of the other different products that Barbara has in their booth at Outlast Products. Barbara, I want to thank you again today. Your knowledge is vast. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.